That's Jess's
You don't,
rule.
that's right, I did. You don't wear a hat to church, you don't wear a hat in the press conference.
I used to work with Bum Phillips. He had a hat rule too.
Who?
Bum Phillips had a hat rule too.
Oh, yeah, he did, sure.
Once again, if you, I think somebody's telling you to fix your hair, Mike.
Well, I'm used to a makeup lady, okay?
Once again, if you just came in, please turn off your cell phones, and we will have a statement from Coach Martin, and then open it up for questions for the student athletes, and following that, we'll have questions for Mike. Mike, give us your overview.
Y'all saw the same game that I did, and that was just a masterpiece of pitching by these two men. It was a game in which you were on the edge of your seat the entire 9 innings. It was extremely well played by both teams. Isaiah pitched beautiful baseball for them also. It was a game that if you knew you could go to a baseball game every night, you would be big-time baseball fans, because that's the way you hope that your team plays every night. And I know it's disappointing for the other team. They had a lot of things, so to speak, go our way, but I just can't say enough about Drew Parrish and J.C. Flowers. Let's get that clear. And the guy that's back there getting no credit whatsoever, he takes one off the arm, he takes one off the leg, nobody really cares. Get the dadgum ball and throw it back to the pitcher and squat down and call the game. But this freshman, Matt Nelson, really is beginning to come of age, and I'm very proud of the way he is improving, and I'm anxious to see him. For I don't know, we know that we got 2 for sure. So let's just look at it that way. I'll get a chance to see him play 2, and we don't know what's going to happen. I can't sit here and say we're in the driver's seat. This field is strong. This field is really impressive. So this tournament's a long way from being in anybody's hands.
Okay, open up for questions for student athletes, and we will get a mic to you. Please identify yourself, and we'll get your affiliation and to whom you're asking the question.
Tony Boone, Omaha World Herald. JC, can you just take us through the swing of emotions from the play at second base to scoring the run and then closing that thing out?
It was a lot of emotions going on. You know, it was a close game all the way through, and Arkansas played really, really well. And at the end of the day, one team's going to come on top, and I was just glad to be able to score the first and only run and be able to close it out for my team.
Okay, we'll go over here. Mike.
Hello, Mike Malloy with the Orlando Sentinel. JC, talk about the catch that you made there against the wall.
I saw it off the bat, and I felt that I knew I could catch it if I had room, and obviously I had room and was just able to jump up there and catch it. Face first? No, I hit side on the wall. I was fine.
Back here.
Ari Masudi, Seminoles.com. This one's for Drew. You said coming into this matchup that you knew you were going to have to bring your A game against Isaiah Campbell. Just what was it like to be in that battle with him, and just those moments where Arkansas got runners on and you were able to get out of it? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, like I said, it was going to be a pitcher's battle out there tonight, and I had to match his intensity and, keep my team in the game and allow them to, scratch a run or two at the end there. And it was just a great game overall. They pitched lights out performance from both sides, and I'm just glad, we came up on top.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, I had questions for a couple of guys. JC, were you stealing on that play where I guess you kind of ran into Martin and knocked the ball loose, or what? And could you just kind of describe that play? And then also, after you get done, I had a question for Drew.
Okay. Yeah, it was a hit and run. I think the count was 3-1, and yeah, he came across the bag, made a nice play, and I guess his momentum, and he tagged me on the stomach, and the ball just came out, glove came off, and I hope he's doing okay.
And Drew, where does that rank? I know you've had a lot of great games in your career. Where does that rank? And it seemed like whenever you need a strikeout, with guys on, you were able to come up with it.
Rank as in like in my career? Or?
Like your best outing.
Oh, I mean, pitching in Omaha has got to be at the top, by far. Every kid dreams of playing at that field and being in a situation like there was tonight with, great fan support from both sides and great competition. So it's probably the best game of my career.
Okay, Adam?
For the Adam Sparks of Tennessee, and Drew, kind of a follow-up to that. It's a dream to pitch here anyway, but then when you have one of the best games of your life, what's that sensation like to come through with your best when you're playing the biggest game of your life?
I mean, it's kind of hard to describe the emotions that we're going through the game because, I don't really know what happened out there, honestly, as part of the emotion stand part. I was just locked in and just trying to throw pitches and, keep my team in the game. But probably in a few days from now, it'll hit me, and I'll take a step back and try to take it in for a minute.
Okay, Teddy?
Matt, just from your perspective, what did you see from Drew tonight, and do you feel like that was the best you've seen him this year?
No, at the beginning of the year, he was lights out just like that against Maine in the first couple of opening series. And then throughout the middle of the season, I didn't catch him so much on Friday nights. Foster did a great job catching him. He still threw really well with Foster. And, his changeup was just unhittable tonight. The ball was stopping in slow motion. It was stopping midair. And it was almost as if the ball was stopping, and then the guys were already through their swing, and the ball wasn't even there. So, his fastball, he was locating well. His curveball was on. He was burying pitches when he needed to. He just did one heck of a job, especially on that pickoff, too. When we picked that guy off early in the game, that was awesome.
Okay, we'll have a question for two more. So, Adam?
This is for JC. Florida State has not won their opening game in Omaha in quite a while. Were you aware of that, and do you think that puts you guys a little more in the driver's seat winning the first one?
I was here my freshman year, and we lost the opening game. I wasn't aware that we haven't won one in a while, but I don't think that puts us in the driver's seat. Michigan is a great team, and we're going to go out there and battle just like we did tonight, and hopefully we get a good outcome.
We'll do Mike and then Adam. Okay, Mike?
Drew, I think it was the sixth inning. You got the last out. There was a chopper right back at you, and you kind of batted it down with your bare hand. Was that just a reaction play, and did that sting any, or what did that feel like off your hand there?
Yeah, it was definitely a reaction play. In my head, I'm like, all right, this is a base hit. I'm going to throw everything I can at to stop it. As far as hurting, no, my adrenaline was going throughout the game, but I'm sure tomorrow it's going to be a little sore. I got yelled at for doing that.
Okay, Aaron?
Aaron Fitt doing baseball. Drew, I guess you'd probably say it's been a little bit of an up and down year for you on the mound. What have you kind of been focusing on as we get to this last part of the season, and what do you think has been the key for you to be able to go out and have a night like this?
Honestly, everything that happened in the past is in the past, and it doesn't matter anymore. We just got to keep pushing and keep focusing on what's next, and the next step was tonight, and I couldn't think about the past, and, just had to go out there and play my best and help the team out.
Okay, guys, thank you, and we will see you Monday night,
Thank you.
which is almost better. Mike, I don't know if you heard, will be the home team
Oh, was that right?
Monday night.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I guess y'all had to flip.
Baker won the flip. You said-
I guess so. Okay, let's open it up for questions for Mike, and we can start here with Art.
Artie Masudi, Seminoles.com. Coach, you guys hadn't won a road super regional ever. You do that. You guys hadn't been on the road bunch in regionals, and you win that. Then you come here for the first time since 1999, and you win game one in Omaha. From your perspective, you've coached a long time. What's been different about this team in this run?
I really think it was that meeting that the men had when things were not going right. We knew that we were in jail, and the only way we were going to get out of it was to start playing better and hopefully get in the tournament. And I think we played very well against Clemson, 3 games, and we just knew that we had to continue to strive to get better and not fall in love with ourselves, and we haven't done that. And we know we're not falling in love with ourselves right now because nothing is settled. Nothing is declared. We just know we got to keep battling.
Okay, Bob?
Hey, Coach, I know you won a lot more games than anybody ever, and you won over 2,000, but you were 0 for 5 against Arkansas. I think they'd beaten you more than anybody that you hadn't beaten. I think that the worst record was 0-2 against a couple teams. Were you aware of that, and how big a deal is to finally beat them here in Omaha?
I knew that the University of Arkansas had handled us right easy. I was not aware that it was 5-0. So thank God I didn't.
Coach, can you put Drew's performance tonight into perspective to do what he did against that kind of an offensive team in this kind of a setting? Especially with the season that he's had and the career that he's had, I mean, the whole thing. Can you kind of put that in perspective?
Mike Martin Jr. and Clyde Keller did a great job of calling the game. I thought that they were just excellent. There's no way that I can say that I haven't seen Drew pitch this well. I've seen him pitch as well before. He's just that kind of battler, that kind of competitor. He's a coach's dream when it comes to who your Friday night guy is, and a great team player. He's the only thing I've seen him do wrong while is stick his dadgum left hand out twice to catch a dadgum one-hop ground ball. That's the only thing I get a little attitude with him about. But Drew Parrish is a great Seminole. He's a good student. He's a guy that has done so much for our program. He's a great leader, one of our captains. This program will certainly miss possibly having him back with us next year.
Okay, Mike?
Coach, over here, CJ is going to start for you Monday, I assume, and how much has he improved this year, and talk about his overall game this year?
Sometimes last year, Mike, he would throw the ball 95, 96, but it would be an absolute no decision. It would be ball 1, and all of a sudden he'll get an attitude and throw the next one a little harder, and it's ball 2. He learned how to pitch. He's not a guy that is trying to throw at 100. He's trying to hit his spots. He's throwing at 96, but he's not overthrowing like he did last year. His breaking ball has gotten much more consistent, and I've noticed that Mike is starting to call more change-ups with him because that really gives him 3 very good pitches.
Okay, here in the middle.
Ryan Kelly, WCTV Tallahassee. 11, what's been, over these last 7 games, what's pleased you the most on this win streak that maybe you didn't see earlier in the season?
Probably the togetherness, the heart that our team has shown. You learn a lot about people when things don't go their way. And there were some things that so-called didn't go our way, but they fought. They're still fighting. They know they haven't decided anything. There's a lot of baseball left. that's encouraging as a coach to know that you have a team like that.
Coach Doug Duda, ESPN Radio here in Nebraska. To get to the ninth, you had to survive that double in the eighth. You went out and you talked to Drew. Did you consider going to the bullpen, and what did you tell him at that point when you had a guy at third and one out?
No, sir, I did not consider going to the bullpen at that point. We talked about what we were going to do. Was that the first and third, or just the man on third? Just the man on third. We went over with our infielders to be sure that we don't, I call it cheating, where guys cheat up instead of being sure that they're, the way we teach it, they're one step from the grass, not on the grass. And just tried to, be sure to tell Matt that you're going to block everything because we trust you, and we're going to throw a curveball in the dirt occasionally, so get it done. We're very, very pleased with that young man.
Okay, I think we have Ryan again.
11, with the 2 years that Drew's had, getting thrust into that Friday night role after Tyler Holton goes down on opening day, to what happened in that regional, to the up and downs that he's had this year, for him to have this moment on this big a stage, how does that make you feel for the ace?
It makes you feel that he's passing on what he learned to the young men in our program. We got a lot of young freshman pitchers, and his attitude, his approach to the game, his work ethic, he's passing that on. And that's so important in college life. You pass along good things, the others will turn out good. That's what I get out of it, because Drew learned from Holton. I won't stop talking about Holton if I get started, but that's in the past. Very proud of this ball club because they understand that they haven't done anything. There's still so much baseball left to be played.
Yeah, Coach, that play in the ninth where Flowers, I guess he said he was going on a hit and run, and kind of a crazy play where there was a lot of contact there in the baseline. Just what was your take on that play?
It was a play in which you saw a baseball player play the game the way it should be played. He had only one way to get to the bag, and he went in to the straightest line he possibly could. And unfortunately, the young man's glove was right there, and hopefully he's fine. Did he stay in the game? He stayed in the game. Thank God he's okay. Good.
Okay.
Jason Patterson, Island CWS. Coach, you've been on both sides of this, as they've already talked about, winning the first one, losing the first one. A lot of discussion about the differences, but I'd like to know what, in your mind, is the major difference in the way you can approach things going forward after taking the first game?
Well, I probably hold the record for losing the first two the most. But anyway, I'm just, again, ecstatic with the way the guys play. They're not thinking anything about the fact that we haven't done a certain thing. They did find out when we were in the outfield that was the first game that we had won on the first night in many moons. But I just think that this club has a good head on their shoulders. They're not one to go out and think they got it made. They know they've got a lot of work to do. Did I answer your question?
Well, I guess I'd like to know a little more. How does it allow you to approach things moving forward, winning the first game versus not? I know a lot of differences there, but what in your mind are the major advantages of going ahead and grabbing that first game?
Well, I'm sure that the confidence factor comes into play, but there's still nothing going to change at practice, and we will practice tomorrow. before we play on Monday. And it's, there's some things that we can cover that we did not do well, but they understand it's the little things that are so important. So,
Okay, I think that'll do it, Mike. Congratulations. We'll see you Monday night.
thank you, Bill.